It's literally the oldest music business and the first music publishing medium ever, and it's still a thing. Yes, even after hundreds of years, sheet music has survived the phonograph. It's survived the radio. It survived singles and 8-track tapes and cassette tapes and CDs and downloads. And now sheet music has even survived and is thriving alongside streaming as a viable way to make music income. Now, this is just starting for me. I've only had a little bit of sheet music sales so far in the past couple of years as I've put things out there, but I am working on more and more arrangements. I'll be talking about that in this video and about how I've been receiving some income so far from those arrangements and where I am putting them online. I've only had a few sales so far, but you know me. I find anything that makes music income and I'm going to shake that tree for all it's worth, and I will find a way to 10x that sucker, and that is what we are going to talk about today on this quick take video on sheet music sales. Hey, if you are just finding this channel and wondering about all the ways that you could make music income, I have a free gift for you called 50 Ways to Make Music Income. You can get it absolutely free. Right now, we're kind of celebrating 1 year since the release of my first video, 6 Ways to Make Music Income. But this free ebook is 50 ways to make music income. You can find it right here at makemusicincome.com/50 ways. Totally free, and it may just give you some ideas on how you can make more music income. One of the things I talk about in that ebook is selling sheet music. It's one of the very first things I talked about in my first video, 6 Ways to Make Music Income, was music publishing. Now, this is less music publishing in like getting signed to a music publisher or getting your music published, and more about self-publishing your music. We are all pretty much self-publishing when we put our stuff out on Spotify, self-releasing our music. But this is the actual notes that people can buy so that they can play the songs that you are making and can sing them and can perform them and have the actual chords and notes and lyrics and everything in front of them. The people buying your sheet music are players. They are not composers. They are not songwriters. They are people wanting to play the music. So especially if you do instrumental music, solo music that you can easily transcribe. For me, I play the keyboards and I'll play solo piano music, or I will do orchestral things that are written out and are scored out. So those kind of things are very useful, and people are looking for new music like this all the time. One site I use is called sheetmusicplus.com, and I've been on there for a few years, and I've had some piano music. And every once in a while, one of my piano arrangements would sell on there. And they have now kind of been taken over by Hal Leonard, which is a long time name in the music publishing business that is taking over these sites, and now they are the ones that you are registering with as a composer and putting your music in, and then it's sending it out to these sites that make it available for people to buy and download your sheet music. Again, usually for me, my sheet music is for piano players. It's a piano piece, a solo piano version of either a hymn or maybe a patriotic song or solo music that I've written. It also could be some kind of ensemble classical piece. I did a lot of that kind of work in my master's degree over the past 4 or 5 years. And so I have some very unique kinds of classical or contemporary pieces that feature unique things like 4 cellos and a drum beat. So I can sell the cello music along with a track. Or I can sell some other ensemble thing that I did for a unique ensemble of violin and cello and flute and piano. I actually sold a piece like that for $40 recently to an ensemble who was wanting to find music for their specific kind of ensemble. So that sold for $40. I got half of that, $20. Right now, I'm working to get all of my sheet music, especially stuff that I've done that is arrangements of public domain songs, hymns, classical things, perhaps patriotic things, and get these things up there for piano players and certain ensembles. Sometimes I have piano and an instrument like flute or something as a solo instrument. And so I make these and I put them up on these sites. So my plan now is to just keep getting out as much as I can. Not much different than sync licensing or stock music or beats or whatever you are trying to sell out online. The goal is quantity. Now, I also believe in quality, so I am really picking the things I think people are going to resonate with and be looking for. I will also likely make a page on my publishing website for the sheet music that I have available, detailing the instruments, and kind of try to see if I can make that searchable on a search engine so people can find arrangements for unique things like flute, cello, violin, marimba, and piano. But you never know when people are looking for these kind of things from colleges, from schools, certain kinds of unique player groups that exist out there. And that's how I ended up selling that $40 score recently to a group that was looking for some kind of music for their particular group. So you may be wondering, how do you even make sheet music of your songs? Now, if you are a music geek, you can use something like Sibelius, which is by Avid, who also makes Pro Tools, and you can get that on a monthly subscription. So you don't have to pay for the program, and if this turns out to be something you don't want to do, you can just stop paying monthly. There's even a free scoring program called MuseScore that I've used before. Absolutely free, and you can get that, download it, and start making sheet music right away. Warning, this is very time-consuming work. It really is to get your stuff in there. Sure, you can take something that you've created on your DAW and send it out into MIDI format and import that MIDI, but then you're going to have to go in and really massage that in these scoring programs to make them look like something. Or you can do what I do and have someone transcribe it for me. It's also called engraving work. You can find people who do this kind of thing on Fiverr or on Upwork. I actually have someone who does it for me, so I offer this service as well to create a beautiful piece of sheet music from your song. Depending on what you want, usually people want the melody, the chords, the lyrics, if it's a lyrical song. Or if it's a piano song, you send me the MIDI, and I, just like with my own stuff, I will transcribe it or have it transcribed piano-wise. We want to make it a little simpler probably than it might be. Make sure it's easy for intermediate and even beginner players to play what they want to download off these sheet music sites. Pretty important. Now, some DAWs are capable of making scores. Logic kind of does this, but it's very tedious and it's not really made for this. But it could be a free option along with MuseScore if that's what you want to try. The bottom line, just like making any music that you're going to try to sell or license, you either have to do the work or you have to hire someone to do the work, or you have to collab with someone to do the work. One way or the other, that's the way you're going to get it made. You can take your MIDI and turn it into sheet music. It can be done, and so you're just going to have to decide which way you want to do that. Again, look for people trained to do this that are doing it cheaply but with quality, maybe on Fiverr, on Upwork, or you can also talk with me. I'll put in the description below how to contact me if you're interested in me making sheet music for you. Now, unlike stock music, which is pretty saturated with all sorts of music from mediocre to amazing, sheet music is not as easy for amateurs to pull off. So if you are a music making person, you know theory, you know how to transcribe these songs, this could be a way to make music income that not everybody can do. This is where you can excel if you are more trained in making music on paper than others, or you're willing to hire someone for cheap to do this music work for you. This probably won't be for beginners who rely on sample packs, pre-made loops, or their own guitars. They may not easily get into sheet music sales. So if you are more savvy musically, this is where those music theory classes pay off, and all that time that you were made to transcribe music, this is where that kind of work pays off and can be an income stream for you. It's also a very focused audience of people who are not looking for cool trap beats. They're not looking for up-tempo corporate music or any of that nonsense. These are focused, serious musicians looking for quality music to play for their enjoyment, for church, for school functions, for recitals, or other things. They may even record it and want to sell it, and you can have a section on your site for them to come and license those recordings of your sheet music. You can also sell accompaniments for soloists to play along with. That's what I'm going to be doing, as many of my songs are songs that I want to put out the melody, and then I will also include the track that I have made that they can play along with. And it's a great way to get people to your website to go get the MP3 or the download, or maybe they go buy it at Pond 5, or they go buy it at Audio Jungle or Motion Array or someplace like that, and they can get the instrumental to play along with when they're using the sheet music. So this is a whole new, or not so new, world, really, for us as composers, for us as producers and musicians and people who are writing things. If you are writing melodies, if you are playing piano pieces or guitar pieces, this might be a brand new way for you to think about making music income. Unlike music for gaming, which we talk about in this video with Stephen Malin, this is not exactly a whole new world. In fact, it's a very, very old world, right? Sheet music has been around for centuries, with like monks transcribing music through the centuries until the printing press was made, and then they could start to manufacture sheet music for use. And up until the 1800s, the late 1800s at that was the only way to really experience music, was to go get sheet music, buy the music, bring it home, play it, everybody gathered around the piano and would sing and do this music. Not until the phonograph became really popular around the turn of the century, right around 1900, did sheet music begin to fall off a little bit, but it's never completely fallen off. It's still a commodity today, and I bet it's one that you haven't thought about very much. And so that's why I'm so excited to think about this, do more, and report on it here on this channel. We tend to think about music as an oral thing, a thing that we hear with our ears. But music put to paper, or PDF, is different. I've heard it said recently that something in its physical form grants it permanence. Okay, that came from Bridgerton. But again, this is an income stream I have seen pick up lately with like $100 in sales over the past few months. And it's something we need to be thinking about, especially if this kind of medium works for your music. So I made $100. Time to 10x this puppy. Who's with me? I'll have more information on this income stream as I produce more sheet music and have more sales. And as usual, I will report to you here on this channel how that is going and what is happening with that. We're going to be talking about more publishing things over the course of the next few months here on this channel. But this is one that I think everybody needs to start thinking about, because this is something that obviously is not going away. It's been around for centuries. It's not going away. People are still buying sheet music. I've heard stories of composers and arrangers selling 6 figures with sheet music. Hello, this is something we need to be thinking about. I'd love to hear your comments down below in the comments section. Let me know what you think of this, and if you've had any luck selling sheet music, or if you are interested in this and are thinking about moving in this direction. And remember our free ebook, 50 Ways to Make Music Income. You can find that in the description below, and all of our ebooks and courses that we offer there. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Go make some sheet music.